I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
Yeah. I'm going to have to talk on this one. This is hilarious. I watched this last night. There was a video from the Chinese historian, and yes, it's going to be on the fair use. And I'm going to say I hate the narrative. You know, I think that I hate when black men say it. Right? I hate when we try to make it all about, well, the world is scared of us because the size of our phallus. I didn't want that to be the narrative because um, if that is how we're judged, I want black men to be think of more than just what's between our legs, right? I think that's also give way to the stereotype, the racial stereotype of black men, right? Instead of us being judged on based on our intelligence, judged based on our ability to do what's in our talents, we're judged based upon sex, and a lot of black men, I gotta say, give into that narrative. However, having said that, right, what Chinese historian said, and I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna it says it's fair use. I'm gonna put this down real quick because I'm going to review this video, and it is hilarious. It is hilarious. You know, very hilarious. So let me go ahead and play some of this, right? Because it's funny as hell though to me though. Shout out to and yes, a Chinese historian. You might think that you might consider him a part of the Asian manosphere because there is an Asian manosphere, right? There is the worldwide manosphere. There's the black manosphere. Right, he and Jerry Lou. There's guys like him, Jerry Lou, and I've got the other two guys' name. They are considered the Asian manosphere. If you So anyway, let's keep it moving. This is a Chinese historian, and he's about to make a point.
Hey, what is up, folks? So I'm giving you guys a massive trigger warning to start this video. Yeah, I'm bringing back this topic. Does this even fit in the screen? Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about how BBC has radicalized young men. And yes, I did watch the infamous Tucker Carlson and the Nick Fuentes interview. I was in the middle of eating my dog dinner and the Bo's penis, but I stopped.
What? What's going on? Vitas in my audio. Yeah. I couldn't hear your audio on this one. I watched this last night. Man, I was crying. Yo, I was at work crying when I watched this. Yo, I was on my break crying on this, man, when I saw this, man. This is hilarious. He said a bull's penis. What the? I was like, what the hell, you? Anyway, let's keep it moving.
All of that just to watch the Tucker Carlson, the Nick Fuentes interview that was promised to me 3,000 years ago. Yeah, this is a serious problem. I've talked about this so much. I've talked a lot about the rise of trans, the dramatic rise of LGBTQ. Yes, and to all the white men who are watching this right now, you don't think this is a huge problem?
See, there is a point to be made, right? There is a point to be made in what he just said, and I don't know about y'all. I want y'all to notice the image ever since the death of Charlie Kirk, ever since the stabbing of the math calf dude by Kamala Anthony. I want y'all to know is how they focused everything on black men. By the same group that claimed to be speaking up for men, right? That is the MAGA, the manosphere, the red pill. Notice that they're attacking the people who they claim that they're supposed to be supporting. And most of the MAGA, most of the manosphere are white. Why all of a sudden the shift? And I see what's about to happen.
Like, I'm talking about, at least 8 inches, right? Sometimes 9, 10, 11, 12 inches. And honestly, I did believe at one point, I think, in America, in Canada, in Europe, Australia, at one point, the overall racism in these countries, it was going down.
I would disagree. I think racism, you can't quantify racism, right? Because you don't know what's in somebody's heart or in somebody's head. But I think when it comes to racial stories, I think since 9/11, since white people has been harassing, accosting, and beating up, putting hands and feet on people who got the appearance of Muslims, people who are either Muslim or people. I remember there's a guy in Houston who was attacked because he had a hairdressing which was a turban, and turbans is often worn by those who are Sikh, in Hindu. So they was mistaken them to be Muslim, and racism has been up since 9/11, and it's been steadily has been increasing. I mean, if we're gonna go by that of the metrics of what's going on in the news, let's keep moving though.
Certain point, and maybe late 1990s to early 2000s. So it's gone down. Now it's gone up like this. Now I believe the level of xenophobia, of racism and discrimination is at an all-time high. It's just a lot of people, they don't want to talk about these things because they're afraid of being called a racist or being labeled as a white supremacist. They're worried about losing their jobs. They're worried about getting expelled from school. Yeah, and it is turning a lot of men gay. By the way, a lot of people have been asking me about Nick Fuentes during past videos. I think I made my opinions pretty clear.
Let's talk about that, right? About turning men gay, right? This whole idea of turning men gay. Carolyn Strong, y'all might know her from Girl Rights What. I used to be a major supporter of Girl Rights What. I used to be a major supporter of Honey Badger Radio. Some of y'all who remember me back then used to be a huge supporter of them. Carolyn Strong says something though. Men, she said this. Men are going to have to. It was like a weird statement, yet she was including homosexuality into this. He said some men are going to turn gay because there's no options. Some to that effect. If I don't find if I might do a part two to this if and when I find that video when she said it, because she said it on Obsidian's. She went to Obsidian's channel and repeated it on Obsidian's blog talk show back in the day, about 10 years ago or so. So I'm trying to find that footage, but she did say though men are going to gravitate towards some men. She didn't say all of them. Some men, because of the lack of sexual gratification, they're going to find sex by other means. Sexual gratification by other means. It does. Homosexuality will be a part of it. In that case, she is right. In that case. But anyway, let's keep it moving, though.
I don't think Nick Fuentes should be banned from any platforms. He should have the right to say whatever he feels like, but I certainly don't agree with him. But once again, right, so you have to look at it like this. I've talked about Candace Owens a lot, so I lost a lot of respect for Candace when I found out that, she talks about, a lot about, the black community. So, we have these issues in the inner cities, black on black crime, gang activities. She talks about a lot of good things. And I found out that, yeah, she was actually, unfortunately, a victim of a racially motivated hate attack.
By white men, by white boys. She was a victim of white people at her white majority Connecticut school. See. Let me. I'm gonna fill in with what you ain't saying.
From when she was back in high school, and she actually sued the school, and she actually
sued the school with the help of the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. See, we got to add that in there. We got to add that in there. All right, let's fill in the gaps. Okay, what you saying? Everything I said can be backed up.
Won that lawsuit, and she was awarded, I don't know how much. It was a significant sum of money. So you were literally the victim of a white supremacist attack. But then you got on your knees for a super rich white man.
Oh man, yeah, man, I've been laughing at this video all for half the night. Oh man.
So well, good for Candace. At least you're set for life. So yeah, I did say right. So
I don't think she's set for life. I think after what the governor of the president of France and his first lady about to do to her, I don't think she gonna be able to raise her 4 children. Okay. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
Never find another person anywhere in this world, you will agree with this person on 100% of their viewpoints. And like I said, I certainly don't agree with a lot of Candace Owens' talking points, but now there's one point that I absolutely do agree is that, yeah, Michael Jackson, he's an innocent man, and I made that very, very clear. So yeah, Nick Fuentes, I'd said before, I mean, he's quarter Mexican, and I said why he's a 27-year-old. He's not looking to get married or have children. He's talking about the white population decreasing. I mean, he's not even a pure Aryan race. So Nick Fuentes is one quarter Mexican. Yeah, I just found out from Tucker's interview, and Nick Fuentes has also said that he's a huge fan of Joseph Stalin. Well, I've said a lot about Joseph Stalin during my full-length 2 hours and 39 minutes monologue. So obviously, it was expected that monologue.
Oh, yeah. We doing all right. College level horse warthogs. What places that use the metric system? Most of the world, I think. That's most of the world. Not think 75% of the world use the metric system. Anyway, keep moving.
Triggered a lot of people because, well, I said nothing but the truth, but a lot of people, they just simply can't handle it. And yeah, I talk about so a lot of the issues of white culture. I didn't know about this as well. So Nick Fuentes, he talks about this, anti-weed movement. It's absolutely terrible for young men. And so for the first part of my monologue, the first half, the first 1 hour and 26 minutes, I talk a lot about white culture, the fall of white society. Yeah, I covered this in passing videos, in live streams, and yeah, the weed thing. What was Justin Trudeau's agenda other than bringing, millions and millions of young military-aged men over to Canada from India? Also, yeah, that was his agenda. That was the campaign that he promised every single Canadian. I'm going to legalize marijuana throughout the country. And I still remember that day, October 2018. All these white boys, these 18, 19, 20-year-olds at Georgia College, they were like, yes, yes, yes. Oh, Justin Trudeau, you're our God. See, this is what happens when you're secular. This is what happens when you don't believe in God, because if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in nothing. If you don't believe in God, you believe in anything. Well, in this case, you believe in Justin Trudeau, and you believe clearly in the BBC because, yeah, listen, smoking weed is terrible for you. The vast majority of the time, it makes you extremely lazy.
Yeah, man, he cooking, yo. He cooking, man. Yeah, man, he cooking over here, man. He cooking with some olive oil. It's very hilarious.
Makes you extremely unmotivated. I've seen this so much. I've been to these parties. I said, right? If you watch my
you see now he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. Oh, it's always black people being lazy. Now you got Negroes on here talking about trying to use his EBT narrative that pushes narrative of the EBT on black women. Oh yeah, man. All these black women saying, man, they don't need a man, but they need a man now. Not understanding Negro. White people are using the EBT narrative against your black ass, and while you at the same time is pointing fingers at black women. Do y'all think on the side of YouTube? I see Phil the Vosh show be doing that stupid shit. Anyway, keep it moving. I can't stand Phil Scott.
The 2 hours and 39-minute monologue. So yeah, these white people, they just in the evenings and weekends they go to these parties. They get absolutely stoned out of their mind. Then they just don't care about anything. They're more than happy to piss their life away. And yeah, that's 90% of the time. What happens the other 10% of the time? Yeah, it does cause illusions. It causes psychosis. And in some cases, these people get extremely violent. Have you guys noticed something? Okay, I did mention, yes, there are a lot of problems in the black community in the inner cities, gang activities, black on black crime. But however, there's one fact that you cannot dispute. Yeah, the vast majority of these serial mass killers in the United States, right? And once again, I'm not talking about some random isolated incident where one guy gets shot at a bar. I'm talking about mass shootings, right? The vast majority of the time, the perpetrator is a white male.
Right. Now I have to put this up here for copyright for fair use though. Right. But if you let Nick Fuentes tells you, if you let Anger Man tells you, if you sit there and you let people like City Ali tells you, if you let people like what's the name who got shot, if you let Charlie Kirk or Steven Crowder tells you, or even Candace Owens tell you, it's black men. It's the Bloods and the Crips. If you let AJ Seeing Red tells you, it's what about Chicago? You know, when it's the most violent crime is in Fresno, California, though, where when it's the population is 0.5% black. But anyway, let's keep it moving.
And yeah, if you guys actually go down this rabbit hole a little bit, dig a little bit deeper, yeah, the vast majority of them, they're intravenous drug users. Not necessarily marijuana. I'm talking about, antidepressants. I'm talking about, they're getting destroyed by big pharma.
Oof. See, you see. Grandpa sold this country out. Grandpa, yeah, shout out to Ty City on this. Grandpa sold his country out. And what Grandpa created was Big Pharma. Big Pharma, which was owned by Grandpa, is now drugging his own grandsons, his own grandchildren, and their grandchildren over here shooting up schools and burning down, planting bombs and people's car, all of that. But nobody want to talk about that part. Let's keep it moving, though.
Cocaine, heroin, meth, fentanyl, they're all kinds of prescription drugs. And I mentioned this is so important. If you guys actually went back and watched my 47-minute video on China's century of humiliation, China was 100% destroyed by drugs. It was destroyed by the 2 opium wars. That is why in China, you cannot even find not even 0.00001 milligram.
Right. And I'm glad he said this, right? I'm glad he say that, right? I want y'all to understand. I'm glad he said it. Because don't let Donald Trump tell you where fentanyl is coming from. You see all these Trump supporters talking about, yeah, man, China is sending fentanyl to America. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. If you go to any East Asian countries, the 2 Koreas, you go to Taiwan, you go to China, you go to Vietnam, you go to Laos, you go to those countries that made up Indochina, like Burma. Well, what was called Burma now it's called, what's it now called? I forgot what it's now called. Thailand, all those countries, Malaysia. If you have less than a gram of any of these drugs, your ass is grass. You ain't coming home. Right. So I don't want nobody. Yeah, instant deletion penalty. Yes. So don't let Donald Trump tell you, oh man, fentanyl, is, the Chinese is getting fentanyl and they're sending fentanyl to Mexico and it's going across our southern border. Bullshit. Don't let Donald Trump, MAGA, and all these idiots tell you where them drugs coming from. No, if you really want to solve the drug problem, you got to solve the demand part. The only way to end the drug war is to address cut off the demand. Who's making the demand for that supply? And why, go after why these people are demanding it. And once you address what is the why, they would no longer demanding it. And nobody wouldn't be selling it. Excuse me. Just keep it moving. Because he's right.
Of weed anywhere in China. There's no cocaine, there's no heroin, there's no fentanyl. Yeah, just go ahead and try to smuggle drug into China, because you know what happens if you're caught with drug trafficking in China. Okay, it is guaranteed death. Okay, death penalty guaranteed. No drugs in China. Yes, obviously China has a lot of problems I talked about. The Chinese guys, well, I think that's the reason why
right, exactly,
they smoke their brains out, right? 80%, I would say, of the Chinese male population is smokes. Probably at 1 out of 3, maybe 30 to 40% of Chinese men, they smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day. It's terrible for you. And listen, it causes erectile dysfunction. I'm telling you, man. That's why so many of these young men are so depressed. And also, it makes your penis shrink. Okay, it's going to decrease the blood flow to your third leg. That's why,
This is where, I hear Anger Man talk about the myth of male loneliness, right? He thinks it's a myth. And you see some of these MGTOW idiots talking about there's no such thing as a male loneliness epidemic. There is a drug problem. Y'all not addressing what's causing it. Y'all, you know what? I'm gonna do a separate video on that. I'm gonna do a separate video on the myth. The evidence of the male loneliness epidemic. It does exist, but they don't want to admit it because the MGTOW and the Anger Mans of the world, they need more supporters. Because more men and boys who are miserable means more content and more donations and money and views. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Right. That shit was fun. Right there, y'all. Let me see. I hope there ain't no ads showing up.
A lot of Chinese guys, they're like this. That's their third leg. So I'm telling you, man. So I've seen over 20,000 Chinese penises at these public communal showers.
Whoa! Stop! Why you looking? Why you looking at another man's junk? Chinese historian. That shit that tripped me the fuck out when he said that shit. Why you looking at another man's shit? Why?
That's what happens when you smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day. So smoking is also very, very bad. That's why, throughout my entire life, I've never ever smoked a single joint of weed. I have never ever put a single cigarette in my mouth. I've never ever done
hold on. You never put no cigarettes in your mouth? Then why you shouldn't say that at the same time talking about you see thousands of penises in communal showers. I'm just saying, you got wrong choice of words on that one.
And I talked about this. You can go back to watch my full-length monologue, right? The amount that these white people are consuming. And by the way, these are not adults. I'm talking about between middle school to high school, 12 to 17-year-olds, both white men and white women. These people are you're absolutely destroying yourselves. And think about what happens, right? I said your racism at one point it was going down like this. Now it's going up like this. And please stop playing the victim card. Right? The number one problem in your life is you, because what's happened is, especially.
Thank you. White people gonna have to stop their victimhood. You always want to talk about, black people online talking about their victimhood. And why you bring up slavery? Why you want to talk about reparations? Okay. Why you keep acting like you're a victim? How come black people was blamed for what happened to Charlie Kirk? How come though you want to blame all the crime on America on y'all keep saying 13% of the population committed 50% of the crimes when that's even a lie in itself? When it's you doing the most crime. And most of the inmates in all of American prisons, or at least 40%, are black. Most of that is you.
Especially the racism between white men and black men, it's gotten so bad. Well, these white men, after a hard day of work, right? Let's say they work the morning shift, like 7 to 3:30, and they get home and they take a shower. Now they're nice and clean, they're relaxed. Maybe it's 4:30 in the afternoon, and they order some pizza online. They open up a can of beer, they light up a joint of weed, and they're stoned out of their mind. Then they turn on their computer, they turn on their MacBook, they turn on their iPad or their smartphone, and they go to these websites and they watch videos of
Hold on, no. I got to put this up. I got to put this up because it's funny. It's funny as fuck to me. It's funny. It's funny to me though. No, you have to address the. You have to address the man part anyway.
Dread, Mandigo, Shindizo.
Wait, stop. How do you know all these names of these porn actors? Hold on, we got to go back, y'all. How do you know all these porn actors' names?
And they go to these websites and they watch videos of Dread, Mandigo, Shindizo, Jason Love, Richard Mann, and they watch these sweet, innocent white girls. Girls like Alina Koshka, girls like Ali Ray, girls like Spring Thomas.
Wait, hold on. Now, bruh. How did you know all these porn actors and porn stars' names? You must be watching more porn than anybody else. Like Tory Black. Come on, man. Really? This shit's hilarious to me.
Girls like Tory Black, and they're watching these sweet little innocent little white girls getting absolutely destroyed, getting absolutely impaled like this. So you don't think that makes these white men extremely angry? And you can deny all you want, okay? How come when I'm mentioning all of these names of these actors and actresses, how come you guys know all of these names? And also, it's led to a dramatic rise of, the LGBTQ movement. Because think about what happens when you're watching, let's say, Jason Love and Ali Ray going at it, right? So are you attracted to Ali Ray, or are you attracted to Jason Love and this thing, right? So a lot.
Yo, stop it! Yo, man, off the dome. He mentioned the names off the dome. He's not even Googling the shit. He's not Googling the shit. He's doing it off the damn dome. Yeah, he must be a friend. Yeah, he must be. He naming the names. Damn, man, and these names are recent, right? I mean, back then, I'm gonna use myself. Back then, I can name you what? Gina Jameson. I can think of. Let me see who else. Who was back in the '90s, early 2000s? I don't even know who is a porn star now. Telling you the truth. But boy, man, yeah, he said he probably know their stats like baseball players. You know how like when we was kids and we used to have baseball cards. Like, oh man, we got Bo Jackson and we got Ken Giffen Jr. and we got Nolan Ryan and we got all of that shit. That shit is crazy what he just said. That's some crazy shit. He named it off the top of his dome. Oh shit. Oh god, man. I laughed at this all beat up. I watched this last night. I couldn't stop laughing at this part. I couldn't, man. That shit was funny to me though.
A lot of men, they don't even realize. And by the way, people start this movement very, very young. A lot of people, they get addicted on their iPads, on their iPhones at the age of, 12, could be earlier, could be 11, could be 10. I'm talking about, pre-puberty. And what happens, do you think, let's say you start watching this at the age of 10, a couple years later at the age of 12, as you're going through puberty, you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm not actually attracted to Mia Makova. Maybe I'm not actually attracted to Emily Willis. Actually, I am really attracted to Mandigo. Maybe I'm actually attracted to Shin Diesel. Maybe I swing the other way around as they're looking at this. So
oh shit. Oh.
So it's turning a lot of these young white men gay. I'm telling you, that is exactly what's happening. And even if it doesn't turn you gay, obviously it's going to radicalize a lot of these young men. Imagine, if you're a below average, below par looking white man, I did cover white privilege, but there are also a lot of really, really ugly white men out there with absolutely zero hope. You're struggling to get a girl to talk to you. You can't get a date. Your life is absolutely miserable. You're incel. And after work, you just open up a can of beer. You start to smoking weed, a little bit of cocaine, a little bit of heroin, and you're watching these beautiful little white girls getting absolutely stretched out by this thing. Of course, it's going to make these white men extremely, extremely racist.
Okay, let's talk about that part, right? Let's talk about that part. I want y'all, some of us who remember, you remember that white guy who was MGTOW? I'm trying to remember his name. And he did a video in his car. And Sergeant Woody Pete, yes, Sergeant Woody Pete talked to him, he did a response video to him, right? And the white guy, I forgot his name. If I find the name, I'll do a community post, of this certain content creator. All he did said he was MGTOW because he claimed himself to be the big MGTOW and shit, right? Men going their own way. He kept talking about white women not wanting him, but white women running to black men. White women that he wanted running to a Hispanic man. I gotta find that video because it was Sergeant Woody Pete. There was another MGTOW white guy who said the same thing, and then there was a guy named Angry MGTOW. Yes, there was a guy named Angry MGTOW. He used to say make the same narrative about how white women not wanting him, but they want to chase to other races of men. And how these white women be going to colleges, they get, get in company of these non-white men, and then they come back home you know, outside of college. Now it's time for them to be married, but at the same time, some of these women come home with mixed breed babies, biracial babies. Yeah, this guy's calling other people gay. Right, right. Jealous that Becky's chasing Tyrone. Right, right, right. Let's keep it moving though.
And yeah, that's why I said, racism, it was actually going down in the 1990s into the early 2000s, and now it's going up like this. I'm just telling you, the vast majority of white men, they absolutely hate black men now. Yeah, the BBC movement has completely radicalized these young white men. And yes, I do believe that a massive civil war is coming to all Western countries. Oh, and please, cut with the crap. Stop blaming, this is actually because of Zionism. Oh, this is because of some rabbi. Maybe you're trying to blame this on Rabbi Shmuley. By the way, I watched that interview. So who was it hosted by? Yeah, Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan hosted that debate between Candace Owens and Rabbi Shmuley. I will have to say this. If Rabbi Shmuley, if he's actually a comedian, if he's trolling, then I have to say that he's absolutely hilarious. If he's actually trying to troll people, if he's actually trying to troll Candace Owens, I would say that guy's trolling skills is 100% legendary. But yeah, Rabbi Shmuley aside, okay? Stop blaming this on other people. The number one problem in your life is you.
Right, right. Because I want y'all to notice something. And it goes back to the Charlie Kirk. It goes back to the Steven Crowder. They always had black people's names in their mouth. But the problem was black people never was around their situation. When Charlie Kirk got assassinated last month, or will be 2 months, well, almost two months ago, right? Black people was talked about. The Charlie Kirk clan went to Tennessee State, which is a historically black college. Bomb threats was called to HBCUs. Black students of Columbia University was accosted. All because of a white dude shooting another white dude in a 95% white state. In a college where there's no person of color. But yet black people was to blame for it. And Steven Crowder can go to a black barbershop and try to chastise black people about crime when his boy was shot down by a white man. But yet black people was the problem. And I'm gonna say something too, though, right? I'm gonna go ahead and say this too while I'm here, right? Let me say this too, because I'm gonna keep this short. I'm gonna keep this short. Ever since Charlie Kirk's death, you see all these people talking about, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I love the Lord. Don't let that fool you. Don't let that we're running back to Jesus is no. Nah. Don't let that fool you. That's a facade. Because how can you have a Christian ceremony? How can you call yourself a Christian and claim you for Christ, but then on the stage you talk about hating other people? Donald Trump got on that at the funeral, at the memorial service, saying, I hate them. Stephen Miller got on that stage and said, we got to destroy them. That's not something what some Christian would say. And then on top of that, you don't see the family, the mother, the father, the sister of Charlie Kirk at that funeral, at that memorial service. They never spoke. And then you got Elon Musk sitting right there. And none of y'all ain't sitting there thinking about, no, Christianity in America is an inch deep, but a mile wide. Anybody can put up a house, a front end of a house, and say, oh, look at the house. When you go around the house, it's just a wall. America is a mile wide, but when it comes to our Christianity, but it's an inch deep. We are not that deep when it comes to our love for God, our love for Jesus. None of that. It's just a facade, and it's a facade for two reasons. Their population is dropping, for one. Two, they're killing themselves. Three, you got black, white women dating Hispanic men, dating Asian men, dating Native American men, dating black men. Well, we got these black manager types talking about they want to shame, blame, explain, and we gotta go in our own way, and we gotta sit here and do we gotta save ourselves, black men, SYSBM. There's no need to save yourself, black men, because y'all mad at Keisha. Y'all mad at Keisha. You don't worry about Keisha when these white women are not dating white men at all. You passport bros, same way. You're sounding stupid out here. But anyway, anyway, I digress. But back to the point, right? Back to the point. All this is a facade. What Donald Trump is doing is a facade. J.D. Vance is doing is a facade. Everybody else involved is what they're doing is a facade to claim that they're here to save America, quote unquote. No, they're not saving America from the Muslims. They're blaming the Muslims. They're blaming the blacks. They're blaming the Hispanics. They're blaming the Asians. They're blaming the Arabs. They will not blame who really is destroying them, and that's the people who they look to in their mirror. And that's what Chinese historians saying. It's no other race of man that's doing this to you. You're doing this to your own. And let me say this too, though, since everybody want to talk about the EBT situation, right? For all you Negroes who trying to stunt on black women, because y'all out here sounding stupid too. You Negroes on here sounding very, very dumb. Oh, by the way, I have to do this, right? I have to do this plug, right? Yes, donate. And yes, right here, my QR code, my QR code right there. Yeah, go ahead and cash at me, all right? Cash at me with this QR code while I'm speaking, right? So the thing is, right, the most people who are on EBT are white. So you Negroes who coming online talking about, yeah, man, we got the black woman, we got these black women on here because Donald Trump is ending the EBT card and welfare programs when it's mostly affecting the poor whites among them. It's not really affecting you like this. It's not that y'all act like man, it's hitting the black women hard. When actually the most people who are gonna be hit by it are white people. The mudseals of society. Who they considered the mudseals. You know what? I might do I gotta do that video on the mudseals. I might do the video. Yeah, my white chick never dated a white dude, as she tells me. Yeah. Okay. The mud steals. I got to do that video. I was telling Pure Butterfly. I was telling not Pure Butterfly. Who I was telling? I was telling Queen Sun Kiss. Yeah, that was who I was talking to. I was telling her over the phone. I got to do that video on the mud steal, and I meant to do that video about 3 months ago. I want to say around August. Yeah, around August, I want to do that video on the mud seals, because they are the main people who don't get it. Okay, and when I said the mud seals, I'm talking about the poor whites, right? They voted. Their voting patterns is different than like the black people who are in the same economic situations, but they voted different than their black counterparts, because they think they're going to get the same rewards that the upper whites is going to receive. The upper whites don't want these mud seals around them, but they still want to vote for policies and politicians who create policies that put them certain in the same predicament. And people just, I be scratching my head. I gotta do a video on the mud seals. Andrew Johnson, who was Lincoln's vice president, is a prime example of what a mud seal is. Lyndon Johnson, JFK's vice president, actually 100 years later, even he identified what the mud seal does. Because he said, if you give the poorest white man, I forgot the exact quote. If you give the poorest white man that he's better than the best black man, you will be picking his pockets forever. Now that's an actual quote, not an actual quote, but he did that. That is quoted. That is quoted of him saying that. That's what mud seals do. Go to every one of these white. Go to a Trump rally, particularly here in the South, particularly here in Texas. Those people got no teeth in their mouth, and they're thinking that Donald Trump is going to give them something. They think Donald Trump is going to give them something. Donald Trump is going to deliver something, deliver them to the promised land. And Donald Trump's policies is making them poor, like the tariffs, like those farmers in Arkansas. They're getting slaughtered by those tariffs. But anyway, y'all don't want to, yeah. I have to go in on that. Because, yeah. So anyway, let me put this down, y'all. Yeah, put this down because I had to wrap that up. So anyway, oh, what the hell I was doing? I meant to put that down. Hold on. Okay, yeah, put that down. Anyway, y'all, I said enough about this. Also, I'm thinking about going to. I gotta finish up some of these videos that's on my mind. I've been procrastinating. I need to stop with this procrastinating. But there's so much things going on in my personal life and on YouTube. I can't catch up with certain events. So that's why I'm lagging behind on my pre-record videos, which I really want to do and such. And who the hell is parked outside? Hold on, who's that parked outside? Hold on. Who's parked outside? Oh, It's the police that's stopping somebody. Never mind. Let me get my ass up out of here, y'all. So anyway, I'll see y'all next time. Y'all be easy. I might be going to the Stanley Cross channel. See if Stanley Cross still alive. Might head over there. I might have to collab with Stanley Cross sometime in the future. And where is the first lady at? Where is the first lady at? Because I ain't talked to her in a minute. Anyway, let me get off of here. See you next time. I'm out. Peace.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.